Hello and welcome to my newest video. Today I'm going to take a quick first look at MegaCryptoPolis. That's an interesting name. Now, what is MegaCryptoPolis? It's basically a decentralized city builder game on the Ethereum blockchain, as you can see here from the screen. So it's similar to myethercity. It's similar to it's not mycity, I think it's faircity. I've done videos about both of them. If you want to check them out, look in my channel. Now this one is quite interesting. I think it stands out from the other kind of SimCity type games because it has a running, working game already. To some degree, I'm going to check that out in a few minutes when I've been going through the homepage basically. So features: acquire your block of land, become a district owner, gain influence and demolish opponents, collect taxes in Ether every day, trade on the open market. So what's really interesting about this game, before I jump into gameplay directly, is that you have an option to gain dividends by purchasing land, and the land that's being purchased around you afterwards, on every subsequent purchase from other people, you actually get a decent amount of share. So I kind of they took this idea and the whole gameplay feature from dWorld, or maybe they just came up by it for themselves. I guess obviously it's not too uncommon to have this kind of idea, but it actually works really similar in dWorld. If you want to check that out, it's also quite interesting game. dWorld.io hasn't been seen too much activity lately, but again, interesting concept and idea. And this one definitely takes this idea to another level and incorporates real gameplay into it. So hard-coded price rising on every sold block of land. When you purchase a land block, the Ethereum smart contract raises the price of the neighboring blocks within a 7-to-7 field. That's also quite interesting. So I didn't know that. So basically, the more blocks being purchased around you, the higher the price of those that are still left, and especially those around the certain perimeter. So the more land that is being purchased, the higher the cost of all the ones around them, I guess. Or there's a hard like a limit to that for a 7-to-7 field, and then it starts from the initial price again. Maybe someone in the comments below who's already invested into the game and played it to some degree can shed some light on it. Now, blocks sold near yours bring you Ether, as I said before. That's quite interesting mechanic. Earn Ether every day once the game begins. Gather influence points by developing buildings on your land blocks. Receive payments in Ether directly to your wallet. So yeah, it's quite similar to SimCity in terms of right now in the stage we can purchase land and districts, and later down the line in summer this year, so it's not too far ahead, you'll be able to build and upgrade your buildings to generate influence points. So maybe these kind of influence points will be their value system. So they have these in-game currencies, and the more influence points you have, the higher Ethereum you get, or maybe you get the in-game currency and then you can trade it for Ethereum, have a decent return on investment. Trade land blocks inside the integrated marketplace to maximize your profits, so you can trade with other players. But obviously if it's an ERC20 token or ERC721 token, it will be able to be traded with other players outside of the game, which is always a great advantage of blockchain technology for games, and especially for the video games industry as a whole. Now, collect taxes in Ether. As I said, every in-game auction requires a tax that is collected and distributed amongst players every 24 hours. Oh, so there's an overall share distributed equally to every player, I guess. Or it's actually depending on the influence points. It says so in the next sentence. You can withdraw tax profits on request. So the more influence points you have, depending on the quality and the size and the amount of your buildings, the more share you get overall. So there's also kind of an idle game mechanic put into the game. So at least that's kind of where I know it from. I think I know it from Ethergoo. We have a decent dividend distribution, basically. In this case, in MegaCryptoPolis, they call it tax. Get access to exclusive land block tokens for bounty islands when the game starts. So they have a bounty campaign right now. You can definitely check that out. So, but now let's get straight into the game. Again, we're still at the kind of purchase land stage, but what they've already introduced when I'm starting the game is definitely looking really promising. I've already entered my email address. So right now you see how the game actually looks, and looks really fleshed out, looks really interesting, and it's one of the first games in that kind of sphere, especially when it comes to comparing it to myethercity and faircity, that has already a working product to some degree. Again, we're still in an early stage. We're only doing land purchase right now, but you can already see that it has a system and a kind of working environment that only needs an addition of gameplay, and it's much easier to realize than most of the other promises that have been made on these other games. So yeah, you can definitely check that out, as you can see here. So you have these different places you can own right now. You can purchase them, then you own them later down the line. So actually, when I purchase this land, the other lands will go up in price, as you can see here. So in a 7 by 7 diameter, all of these lands will go up. I guess that's how I understand it. Maybe someone, again, who already plays this game and has invested in these lands can shed some light on how it works exactly in the comments below. I'm always interested in your opinion and appreciate your comments. So afterwards, in the next stage in August, you will be able to build your different buildings, and I guess also cities once you have purchased enough land. So I guess on one land you will always be able to put one building, and the more buildings you put together in a certain area, you kind of create your own city and village, or maybe it just starts at a village and then goes into a town and hopefully becomes a city. So there actually a lot of different lands already being purchased. I guess the land that is closest to the center, so this one I guess is the center where it all starts or started. If you already want to look into the future, basically, are the most expensive, I guess. So why are these one not purchased? So again, I don't really know how the system works right now, why all the other places are already being purchased. What does this mean? So they are not purchasable right now, I guess. Can't really get them right now. So this is a different district. I think we're still in one district here, and then we enter a different district around here. But it looks really interesting, to be honest. It reminds me of some of the early SimCity versions, some of the early SimCity games, and it's definitely enough for one of these games. They don't have to have these great fancy graphics as long as they provide some sort of gameplay and just makes the game look more fun. Again, I'm always a major proponent of making any kind of game look and play and feel fun. Again, this is the purpose of any kind of game. If you don't have any fun, you might as well not play it. So even if you're a person who only wants to invest in these games and doesn't really plan on playing them, you still want the game to be fun because you want the game to be successful. So in order for that to happen, other players have to enjoy the game and have fun with the game in order for you to have a decent return on investment if you invest in the game. So this is definitely something a lot of these crypto and blockchain games lack, and they only want to make a quick buck. A lot of times they only see it as a sort of asset to their whole portfolio to some degree, and they completely forgot the main purpose of any of these games. So yeah, definitely an interesting concept. I think right now, other than purchasing one of these, so I can click on buy right now. So the price is at 0.32 Ethereum right now. Maybe these one are more expensive. Okay, look at this. They're already at 1.6 Ethereum. So the closer they get to this, like close proximity of this large, I guess, start building that has been introduced by the developers, the more expensive they get, and that's why I guess the reason they're not being bought, or they haven't been bought yet. So they're already really expensive, at least 1 Ethereum, close to 1 Ethereum. That's quite a bit, so 0.8. But yeah, definitely check it out. Looks really promising in my opinion. It has a working demo or beta already to some degree, and hopefully in August we will also see some gameplay. You'll be able to build your own city. Check it out yourself. I'm going to post a link to MegaCryptoPolis. They haven't really thought about the easiness of pronouncing the name, especially for a non-native speaker like me. But yeah, definitely check it out. I'm going to post a link to MegaCryptoPolis in the video description. I'm going to post a link, I think, when I go on exit right now, a link to their Telegram channel as well, and also to their Discord channel, so you can talk to developers, get a good understanding of the game, because as I always say, please do your own research on this game, and please don't take this video as financial advice. Only invest as much cryptocurrency, in this case Ethereum, as you can afford to lose. Other than that, hope you enjoyed the video. Yeah, check it out. See you next time. Bye.